Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank the Alumni Association and their alumni team for this wonderful award. I'm very humbled and very honored to receive this award. It's not often that I'm at a loss for words, but I think when Carolyn Tatro contacted me this summer, I was stumbling around to find answers for her. I'm honored to receive this award in the company of such distinguished current and former awardees. Congratulations to every one of the awardees. Leora Stroop developed the nursing program at Fort Hays. I don't know if any of you ever interacted with Ms. Stroop, but believe me, she was a force to be reckoned with. She laid the foundation for a very high quality, solid nursing education program. I was in the 12th class to graduate from the nursing program, the class of 1965. I almost didn't make it into the program. I had applied to the college and the nursing program, and in the spring of my senior year of high school, I received a letter saying that if my ACT scores were correct, I would not be admitted. Of course, I was devastated. I was an 18-year-old and I didn't know anything about ACT scores. That day, I ended up in the school office and subsequently the principal's office. The principal, Mr. Lee Smith, told me we could challenge the ACT scores, which included things like 100% in comprehension and 0% in reading speed, or maybe it was vice versa. I'm indebted to Mr. Smith as he went to bat for me. He contacted the college and they said they'd admit me based on my high school grades. I have very fond memories of my years at Fort Hays. I lived in Custer Hall, and we had nursing classes on the top floor of the science building. Believe me, it was nothing nearly as nice as Stroop Hall is today. I received a really good and very sound nursing education, and it was a foundation that propelled me into the world of actual nursing, and ultimately on to graduate school at the University of Minnesota. At the time I graduated, there were not very many four-year nursing programs in the United States, let alone in Kansas. Four-year graduates were kind of looked down upon as that they had less preparation than other graduates of other programs. I remember a couple of things that Ms. Stroop gave us as wise advice. She said, "You don't have to tell people what kind of a degree you have unless they ask." Also, she said, if someone wants to argue with you about the best kind of nursing school, don't engage with them. People who want to argue have already made up their minds. I've followed this advice throughout my career, and it still holds true today. No one obtains one of these awards by themselves. There are many people that I need to thank for their help along the way. My path to education started with my parents, Delmer and Rebel Sims, a farmer and a secretary who grew up and lived most of their lives in Smith Center, Kansas. Neither had attended college, but there was no doubt in our household that both my brother John and I would attend college. The question was where and what major. Some family members tried to talk me out of going into nursing, but I always knew that that's exactly the route that I wanted to take. My family was a constant support. If it hadn't been for my husband, Jerry, I would not have been as successful as I have been. He was the constant, the rock of our foundation, the one who picked up our daughter from daycare and fixed the evening meals so I could work late into the evening. And there were so many more things he did. He was my biggest cheerleader and a continual support and help. Our daughter Geraldine was young. She gave up time with her mother as I worked long hours. As she grew, she also began to help around the house. The other children who were older, Candy, Kevin, Corey, and Curtis, were a support as well, whether they knew it or not. The nursing program at Kearney State College was the product of hard work of a number of very dedicated faculty and staff. The faculty fleshed out the details of the curriculum, and with great dedication taught students in both the classroom and the clinical areas. Then there were the initial students who trusted us was a new and untested program. Over 1,700 students have now graduated from the program. 75 to 80% of them live and work in rural areas of Nebraska. And that was always our goal, to improve the health care of people in rural Nebraska. The development of the baccalaureate nursing program at Kearney State College is my biggest and my best professional accomplishment, and it's the one of which I'm the most proud. Last but not least is Theo Wagner-Wiedemann, one of my college classmates. She is the one who encouraged my nomination for this award. Theo is also the glue that holds the class of '65 together. She plans reunions, she makes reservations, she sends out multiple reminders, and makes sure that we're all there to participate if at all possible. During the worst of the pandemic, she even planned a Zoom reunion. I want to thank the university for this award and also for the never-ending task of providing a very high-quality education for thousands of students. You know, I love nursing, I love nurses, and I love nursing students. I am proud to be a nurse, and I'm extremely proud to be a graduate of Fort Hays State University. Go Tigers!